Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 9 at Saratoga on Sunday is the Della Rose. It's a restricted stake for fillies and mares. We're going 1 mile on the inner turf. Let's take a look at this field. It's a pretty competitive bunch, Mike, going the mile. Jouster is the 5-2 morning line favorite. The 9 Battle Bling, the 10 Halo City are entered main track only. Jouster coming off a good win in the Perfect Sting last time out. And a horse that ever since she's learned to rate, she's come with a strong finish. She was all speed early in her career.
Yeah, you're right. It's been a big change for her as an older horse, because you're right. She was all speed early on, but she has been much handier so far this year, and she's actually comes into this race in really good form.
Several stretch out sprinters in this race could provide the pace. We'll take a look at the Timeform US pace projector. One of those stretch out sprinters is the 7 In Good Spirits, who is going to be routing for the first time since late 2020. She does have good speed. I would expect her to be close to the place. Plum All does have a little bit of speed. I think they prefer to have her slightly off of the pace. And Assertive Style also stretches out. She draws outside In Good Spirits. Maybe In Good Spirits can get to the top.
Yeah, I think she probably can here. We'll see how they decide to do. They haven't gone beyond sprint distances with her in a while, but when they were going longer with her, she was speed.
Chad Brown has the 1 Love and Thunder. You see her in the back on the Timeform US pace projector. She's the kind of mare that's going to need a little bit of pace help up front. In her return off of a lengthy layoff at Belmont, she looked good. She didn't break very well, but she closed down that field. And last time out on the Perfect Sting, again, she kind of got pinched a little bit leaving the break. She came with a solid run. I think she's the kind of mare that's slowly rounding herself back into form.
Yeah, she probably is. I wonder if she has a forward move in her, though, Dan. I feel like she's the kind of mare who needs to find a forward move at some point if she's going to win races like this. And I just wonder if she has it in her. I liked her return from the layoff. It wasn't a great field. I just liked the way that she won that race. I didn't really see an excuse for her last time in the Perfect Sting. She kind of ran the same race, but she did it against better horses, and she wasn't good enough.
It took Mizuno a while to notch her first win in North America, but she did it last time out at Belmont, going a mile on the Widener. Let's watch that race right now. She made a strong move into contention here, and she's ready to gobble up the leader. This was a good performance. I wonder if she sort of peaked at this sort of mid-80s buyer level. She's in good form. I think she needs to take a slight step up as she steps up in class.
Yeah, I agree. She ran well in here. She got a really good trip overall. She also won the race pretty easily. So maybe she really did take a step forward here. I didn't like her return to the Chad Brown barn back in June, but she was off the layoff there. So maybe she just needed that race.
About 4 months off of the 3 Stunning Princess going out for Danny Gargan. I think she's a little bit underrated, Mike. She's run some fast races. That Tropical Park Oaks in her final start as a 3-year-old was a 94 buyer speed figure. Last time out, the Sand Springs, the race we're going to watch right now, she's going to get to the outside in the stretch. There wasn't a ton of pace on in this race, and she's going to finish okay for third. I don't mind the layoff for her. She's run very well fresh in the past.
Yeah, I don't mind the layoff for her either. And she's another one. She has some pretty good tactical speed too, so I feel like she could get the right trip in this race. I don't know. I guess she runs fine here. She's no match for the 1-2 finishers, but she is, pretty clearly third at the end. Her race 2 back in the Endeavor. She also ran pretty well that day, Dan, against a good field. So maybe she's just a little bit of a better fit here.
Christophe Clement, Manny Franco sent up to 4. Plum All, and it seems like she just shows up each and every time with a good, solid performance. She won the Plenty of Grace in her seasonal debut. She beat a good filly that day in technical analysis. In the Beaugay, she was on the lead, and while she's won from on the lead in the past, I'm not really sure that's her preferred running style. Tell me about the Nassau last time out. What'd you see there?
Yeah, I saw her not really run a particularly good race of the Nassau. Got the right kind of trip in that race, just really wasn't finding through the stretch. We'll actually look at that replay a little bit later. I don't know. I didn't like that performance. I thought she was awful in the Beaugay, even though they put her on the lead, which wasn't a bad place to be in there. She was, she never looked like she was going to win from about the 3/8 pole in that race. I don't know. I thought it was very disappointing, Dan. Her last 2 races, I'm someone who's been a big fan of hers. Her last 2 races do nothing for me.
Jouster, graded stakes winner from On the Lead, as we mentioned earlier in her career, rated and finished nicely to take the Perfect Sting on July 3rd last time out. We're going to watch Jouster's performance right now. There was a solid pace on. She settled very nicely. She attacked when the time was right. She holds off the closers. Likeable performance.
Yeah, likable. Again, it looked like at the top of the stretch she might win really easily. As it turned out, she just sort of takes over and just holds her ground here. She's not letting anybody into the race, Dan. She's just not getting away from them late either. I liked this performance. She ran really well in the Intercontinental two-back, a race that she probably could have won with a better trip. They tried to make her a sprinter there very briefly, and she did well sprinting, but I think she's probably better in races like this.
I don't want to sleep on the 6 hour flash drive, a multiple graded stakes winner in Canada for Marcassi, beaten 3 lengths by Ruggiero at a big price, 2 starts back in the Bogey. Let's watch that Nassau now. This is her most recent effort, going a 1 turn mile over the EP Taylor turf course. It looked like she was traveling really sweetly, turning into the stretch, Mike. A couple of nice mares run her down. I thought it was a good effort.
I did too. I thought she was going to win though at the eighth pole, and she just can't get away from these horses. And ultimately, she's no match late. That's Plum All right behind her in the pink cap, who's just not finding really anything here through the stretch and isn't going to really make her presence felt. I don't know, Dan. In each of her last 2 starts, our flash drive, there were points coming into the stretch of those races where I thought she's going to win. And she didn't win either one of them. I get that she was in against good horses both times, but I was a little disappointed in those performances, and that made me not want to put her on top yet.
I was disappointed with In Good Spirits' last race. That was the Grade 2 Royal North, going 6.5 up at Woodbine. I thought that was a race that really suited her very well, and she just sort of ran around there and never really threatened. I do like that she did win at 6.5 at Kentucky Downs, a very testing turf course that might play longer than the 6.5, and maybe that bodes well for her if she can get to an easy lead going this 2 turn mile. She does have a couple of back races for Al Stahl, who sent out a few live horses at this meet.
Yeah, she really does. And she also ran really well at Saratoga last year. That was sprinting, but she ran really well in that race. I don't know what to do with her. I do think that she's a player in here, especially if she makes the lead. I also kind of feel like she got better when they tried to make her a sprinter. I think she might be a little bit better going shorter, Dan, but it's not like her races, going a mile or a mile and 16th are terrible.
While Assertive Style has won around 2 turns in her career, that was an off-turf race at Indiana back in 2021, and they've concentrated on her sprinting since then. She was likely overmatched last time out, but the trip didn't exactly work out for her in the Intercontinental.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't think it's fair to say that she was going to win that race, but man, that trip did not really work out, and she might have had a lot more run than she was able to use in there. I feel like that was a deceptively good performance. And now they're going to stretch her out for Tom Morley, who just feels like he can do no wrong in New York over the last few months. I kind of want to use this horse at a price.
He's very shrewd, Tom Morley. Claimed the source for 80, immediately got a graded stakes placing, and now he's going to stretch her out with the speed to get close to the pace, and no one's riding any better right now than Javier Castellano. The 9 and the 10 are entered main track only, so we'll get set for our top picks for this race. It is the De La Rose, one of 2 stakes races scheduled for turf at Saratoga on Sunday. Jouster in very good form. I think just tucks right in behind the leaders.
Yeah, I think she'll get a good trip. I didn't really have a strong opinion here, Dan, and I just sided with her because I like her recent form, and I think she is going to trip out in this race. Again, our flash drive, I think she can win here. I just wasn't thrilled with her last 2 races and didn't want her on top.
I think I can make the lead at a price with In Good Spirits. I was a little disappointed with her last race. You mentioned she has run well at Saratoga in the past. I like that Kentucky Downs effort. I think the mile is within her reach, given the right trip. And again, the price is going to be right. 5681 for Mike, 7643 for me. It's the De La Rose on Sunday at the Spa. Good luck.